because he showed in his past season that he did not manage it correctly. What do you think he'll do this time around differently?
I think that he's a little smarter this time around, but I think he still has that cocky attitude and isn't playing right. I mean, that showed when he made an alliance with Keith and just like he really trusted him that much. I don't think you can trust a guy that much to tell, I have the idol right away.
Yeah, that was definitely not a smart move, but I think that from now on, when he gets to Tribal Council, that's going to be something that he's better at, since it already happened to him once, and he doesn't want to see his fire extinguished again.
Yeah, but he's not even considering that, that he could get voted out. He's just like, oh, I'm just going to tell these guys to vote this way. And so far it's worked for him, but the second they turn on him, he could go again with the idol in his pocket.
Yeah, I kind of imagined him going as far as Boston Rob. Because, again, he's the dominant person that's played this game 3 times and hasn't won yet. So I think he's going to go the same way as Boston Rob. Not necessarily winning, but going pretty far in the game. He's got a strong alliance, and he's got lots of power.
Yeah, I think that actually Coach has a chance, too. Coach has played also 3 times, and this season he's looking a bit different to me. What are your thoughts on him?
I definitely am seeing Coach as more of a player and not as much a yoga master. Because if you remember in his past seasons, basically all he did was do yoga and pray on the beach. And
Dragon
this season he's a
Slayer.
lot more serious and a lot less insane.
Yeah. So far he hasn't really used the Dragon Slayer because he knows that everyone knows him as that. And he's kind of tuned it down where he's just the leader.
Yeah, he's a much different player this time around. I think he realizes that strategy made people just not like him from the start, and he went a different route this way, which was smart.
Yeah, and he's already taken out, I think, probably his toughest critic, Survivor Christine, who just hated him. Now, whether she'll come back or not, that's still up for question. But at least he's already gotten her out of the loop.
Yeah, I think that, from the beginning, Survivor Christine made a bad move by saying that Coach was a temporary player, because that automatically put her on his bad side. And that was not a smart thing to do, because as Survivor coming into this game for the 3rd time, people will look up to him and vote his way, as Boston Rob showed last season.
Yeah, and, she could have gotten away with it if she hadn't said it in public, if she had just went up to some people and said, hey, I think that Coach will be kind of like a temporary player if we can get him out, just like how Zapatera did last season with Russell. They just all came together and voted him out. But, you don't just announce that in front of both tribes out in the open.
Yeah, that was definitely a bad move, that on her part. It just totally... The first meeting of all the people that are playing Survivor, the 29 castaways, was just a terrible time to start trash-talking the 2 new players entering the game.
Exactly.
Alright, so since it's early in the game at this point, I think we should place our bets on who we think is going to win.
Okay, so we should do top 4 for this.
Alright. We'll see how we agree.
Okay, so my top 4, seeing as what's happened so far, would be Coach, Ozzy, Jim Rice, who's the marijuana dispensary owner, and...
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Go ahead.
And probably Michaela.
Oh, wow. Well, mine is completely, totally different. Alright, my number 1 is Ozzy. Because I think he's, again, as I said, going to have the same control that Boston Rob did throughout the game. And 2 is going to be Keith, because I think he's going to carry Keith within the whole game, as he trusted him with the idol.
Yeah.
My 3rd, I don't think Coach is going to last, but I think that Edna is the kind of person that will fly under the radar and make it to the end.
Kind of like, I think her name was Mian, or whatever, from Thailand.
Yeah. There's also been many other winners, kind of like, what's his name? Never mind. I'll skip him. Anyway, number 4. Final person. It's gonna have to be... Ooh, tough one. I think I'm gonna have to go with another Savai. Oh, man, this is tough.
I know, I came across the same problem.
I got it. Whitney.
Yeah, I could definitely see her making it far. I just didn't think she's Final Four material.
I know, but again, I think she's a big player in the alliance with Ozzy and Keith, and she's the only other person besides Keith and Ozzy that knows about the idol. So I think those two will go far in the game together.
Yeah, and overlooking kind of the Final Four predictions, kind of on a different subject. What do you think of the Final Five Alliance? I know we've touched on this on past podcasts, but I want to hear your thoughts.
Well, I think they all made a good move by getting together. They're the young, strong players, and the 4 made a good move by going with Ozzy. They know he's the strongest player, and he has the power to make decisions in the game. And as it showed last season with Boston Rob's alliance, they're all going to make it far, but they have to choose the right moment to get rid of Ozzy.
Yeah, do you think that their alliance will really last, though? Because usually, sometimes, well, not usually, sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't.
I really think that when it comes to the merge, that's when they're going to be shown as their strongest. I think it all comes down to, though, in the end, if Savai has more members than Upolu. If one tribe outnumbers the other, it'll start picking off the people from the other tribe. So, if Savai has more members going into the merge than Upolu does, then that 5 alliance is going to overpower Upolu, and take control of the game.
Yeah, I agree with that. So do you have anything else to add about episode 3 of Survivor South Pacific?
Let's see. Oh, I got something. I was thinking about this while I was watching the episode, and I've been thinking about this for a little while now. I'm not sure when this ended, but when did they start breaking up having 2 challenges, one for immunity and one for the reward, opposed to just having one for both? You know? I always liked when they had 2 instead.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that too. Because I've actually been rewatching most of the seasons, and I'm used to reward challenge, then immunity. But do you think it was after season 20? Because I'm pretty sure season 20 had both.
I'm not really sure. I need to brush up on my Survivor. I mean, I've been a long-term fan, but I started when I was younger, so I'm not really fresh on my seasons. But I know that recently there's only been 1, and that bothered me to some degree.
Yeah, because then it's like the tribe who wins just gets everything, and the tribe who loses gets screwed.
Yeah, it's like, it's either one extreme or the other. Either you get a reward, and you don't have to vote anybody out, or you don't, and you have to vote somebody out too. Like, I liked how there was a reward, and a time for people to talk about, you know, what was going to happen in the upcoming challenge, instead of just having that challenge be over with already, you know?
Yeah, and that might be something new this season. I'm not sure, because I'm pretty sure last year, at least, I think there was rewards separate, because I know that Boston Rob went on a reward to a volcano, because I remember him throwing the immunity clue in it, so.
Yeah. I think that I would like to see that come back, and I'm not really sure if they vary it or not, about, like, you know, whether the immunity and reward challenges are separate or what, so.
Yeah, I hope that come merge they might change that, because maybe there won't be as much footage to show, and they can just show that and maybe kind of just mile down Redemption Island, because, I mean, that's just too time-consuming in my opinion.
Yeah, I really think that after the merge, Redemption Island should end, and the person that's been on it, I really think that it's not quite fair how they're doing Redemption Island. Because basically they have one person that has to last, and then, as Matt was last year, he was thrown back into it, and then he was just kicked right back out.
Yeah, I think that they should give them immunity one time, like they did, I think, Pearl Islands, when they did the Outcasts twist.
I'd also, moving on from that, like to see them get rid of Redemption Island. I am tired of that.
Yeah, I have never liked it. I mean, at first it was something new, you know, you get to see the survivors come back, compete again. But I mean, after a while, it's just like, okay, we're done.
I mean, one season of it was definitely enough. I mean, it's a cool idea to see your favorite players get back in the game when they're voted out, but I don't think it could last 2 seasons, and for some reason, it's back.
Yeah, and I think this is the first time they've done back-to-back type things. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I haven't watched every season, but
Yeah, all like the heroes versus villains, fans versus favorites, they only did that once. So Redemption Island is something totally different, but I did not like it enough to see it come back for a second time.
yeah, what do you think they should do instead of Redemption Island next season? Because do you think they should go back to the original way, you know, maybe even go back to their 16 castaways with 2 finalists, or Exile Island or something?
I don't think they should go back to the original 16 and 2 finalists. It's easier to have 4, in my opinion, more castaways, because it gives more depth to the game, but I preferred Exile Island because, for one thing, you were only exiled for a little bit, and that gave you time to, think things over, and it also added a new element because people that lost had to bring someone with them, and that was just a totally different element, and wasn't something where one person stayed on there for the whole game, It was just so much easier to deal with, and not as tedious, because you're just seeing the same people battle it out on Redemption Island basically over and over and over again till one person loses, and then, it just goes on for the whole game, and it's not, I'd rather see Exile Island and have that be a different element of the game.
Yeah, and Exile Island didn't take as much screen time as Redemption Island does, because then they have to do the whole intro to the duel, then they have to do the duel, and then in the last episode's case, they had to go through some artist's long-winded poetry.
Yes, about some man we don't know. Anyway, I definitely thought that they're replacing the Redemption Island, or the second challenge, with the Redemption Island duel, which I preferred seeing the whole tribes compete versus 2 people.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Or at least when it comes to merge, individual.
Yeah, I always preferred individual challenges because it's your own life on the line, and, individually, and not the whole tribe.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, it's necessary to have both tribes compete against each other because people are working on, the tribe unity.
Yeah, and building alliances and everything.
And that's basically your beginning basis for voting people off, how strong they are in challenges.
Yeah, because you can either go for tribe unity in that case, or you can go for biggest threat when it comes to merge. And sometimes that can make or break a team.
I really think that in the beginning, the main focus is to try to keep the team strong, and try to win challenges, because the more that you win challenges, the less you have to vote people off. And once you get to the merge, that's going to be a really big deal, because tribes that stay strong and have more people going to the merge, as I said before, are usually likely to have the most people out of the 4 finalists. And, that's an important factor. Everyone there wants to win the $1 million. And to heighten their chances by winning challenges and getting rid of the people that aren't as strong is the best way to go. And then once it switches to merge, it really becomes biggest threat, because that's just make it or break it. And you need to figure out, who could I beat for $1 million?